And I went over to the VA and used to go pick up your file,
Yeah.
and you take it to this lady and tell her I'm going, whatever. So I remember I finished, I went to take my file back so they could put it back in the file, and it had POW sticker on it. She goes, "You're not a POW," and she pulled a sticker off and tossed it and like, "That's not right. You shouldn't be here." I go, "Excuse me?" I go, "Okay, I don't know what that's about." And so right after that, I got a job with the police department. So I didn't need to go over there. And I never checked on it again, never checked on it. And I think that's what happened is when they filed and pushed everything over, it didn't have that POW sticker on the front when they were doing their upgrading and doing all their stuff. Because when I went to try to get to the VA again, um, they didn't have me in their system as a POW. I was in the system and I couldn't figure it out. And I finally talked to a guy and he says, "The problem is you've been contacting us here in Colorado. You're not a POW here." And then he started looking, he goes, nationwide, when they did it, to put you in there, they do you have a POW, but for some reason here you are not. I literally had to go to a congressman and have him, he got a hold of the Marine Corps and the State Department and a couple other agencies to send paperwork to tell him that I was a POW. This is what happened to me, whatever, whatever, and I have the POW rating. And I had to turn that paperwork over to them. And that was like in 2015.
And they still haven't got you the
No, they gave me that rate as a POW, but that's and then some other stuff went on, and it was just kind of, we'll have to talk about that another time
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
side,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it was anyway. But
yeah.
anyway, but the Iran stuff, yeah, it was. Uh, and we were talking about Rocky,
Yeah.
and Rocky kept me going the whole time, and I kept him going the time. That's the only reason we survived together. And we're doing it again, like I told you today. We're like brothers. We're literally like brothers, with each other, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, having your friend there
yeah,
to provide, number one, comic relief,
yes,
throughout the time to kind of keep your spirits up. Like
yes,
that was probably invaluable throughout that
yeah,
miserable experience,
yeah,
because there were many, 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 many times where you were getting hit in the beginning for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And then a lot of times where they, were
yeah,
threatening to kill you guys
yeah,
and you thought that you were going to die,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And plus just not knowing what's coming or what's going to happen and
right,
like the psychological impact that leaves on somebody permanently for the rest of their life.
right,
And then, of course, going to the prison, I'm sure that was probably like,
yeah.
wow,
That was
this is
crazy.
it. We're done.
Yeah,
Like I can't, you know, especially experiencing like the embassy getting overthrown, a whole new government in place, going through everything leading all the way up to that. Like,
yeah,
what an insane experience, man.
yeah,
And the fact that you made it through and were able to come back
yeah,
and become a functioning member of society after
yeah.
experiencing all of that psychological and physical
And
trauma.
I wasn't sure for a while because I couldn't get a job for a long time. My hometown, I go look for a job at a place, and they go, "Oh, no, you don't need. You're going to be rich. You're going to be rich. You don't need a job."